Senior Moments, sponsored by the Empowering Seniors Group on News Talk KVNU, 102 FM and 610 AM.
Good morning and welcome to the Senior Moment Show. My name is Bruce Lee. I am flying solo today. My co-host Sid Roeder is actually a little under the weather, so we wish her well and hope she gets back on her feet soon. But this is the Senior Moment Show. Thank you for joining us. We are sponsored by the Empowering Seniors Group. If you'd like to learn more about the Empowering Seniors Group, you can check us out at empoweringseniors.info on the internet, or you can shoot us a text at Sid's phone number, which she loves to get texts and calls on this number, so it's 435-512-6406. You can also send us an email at empoweringseniorcv@gmail.com, which is CV stands for Cache Valley. So thanks for listening today. We have a special friend and guest on the show today who is a member of the Empowering Seniors Group, so we thank her for that membership. It's Tracy Ferris back to talk about Medicare. So welcome back to the show, Tracy.
It's good to be here.
It's good to have you. And I want to make a special shout out. I met somebody this week. Doug is a listener, and he was actually mentioning our show and talking about you and talking about the show. And so hello to Doug out there. And thanks for listening, and all of you who listen to us with some faithfulness weekly. Tracy, we're going to talk about something surprising today for you. Medicare.
Yes. So exciting.
We're going to change it up and go with Medicare.
This is such a good idea.
Okay. I'm not going to change it. But we should say that Tracy has evolved in her career some, and she now owns her own agency, which is the Blue Water Health Insurance Agency. And she is doing well there. Tell me why you did that.
Well, just, we're always trying to progress in our career, and that was a good next step for me, and it just made sense under the circumstances of where I was at before and needing to make a change. So good all around.
Awesome. And what kinds of things do you do at the agency? Obviously Medicare.
Yeah. So our biggest clientele is individual health insurance, then Medicare, and then small group health insurance.
So some commercial small group. Mm-hmm. So the individual health insurance could be for a business, or it could be for anybody who needs health insurance.
Correct. That is correct. Yep.
And across all incomes,
yes.
All kinds of different options out there.
Yeah, we do not discriminate. We will help anyone.
I guess that wasn't really what I meant, but we can get more into that on what options are out there for people, yes, because there's a lot of cool stuff that's there.
Yes, there really is.
But we want to start off with Medicare because that is what we're talking about today. Yeah. And there's a lot going on out there in the world for people who are approaching the magic age of
65.
65. And anybody who's approaching that age probably knows about Medicare because
they are inundated with all kinds of phone calls and mailers.
Helpful people.
Yes, so many helpful people.
So many helpful people that are looking to help them make choices.
Yes.
Why is it they get so much mail and phone calls as that's approaching?
Well, I think everybody wants their business, right? Companies legally can't make phone calls, but they can send out mailers. So every company under the sun will just flood them with tons of information. Agents can actually, like myself, can buy lists of clients that are turning 65 so they can make phone calls to them. It really becomes a pretty high stress time, especially if they're reading all of the information that's coming in the mail. When I've talked to clients that have done that, at the end they're just like, I'm so confused, I don't know which way is up.
Yeah, to expand on that a little bit, as people are getting to that age, most people know that that's coming, that they're maybe even waiting for that Medicare to kick in for them or expecting it as part of their retirement plan or their health plan. Maybe talk about why it is good to have somebody to help with that, an agent like yourself versus, why wouldn't I just get online? For me personally, my natural way of doing things would be to jump online and not ask anybody any questions. And so I just want to do that, not be bothered. So, is that a good strategy? Is that a bad strategy? Can I do that? What should I be concerned about if I'm doing that, or why should I talk to somebody?
Well, I think that's a really great question. And to answer it, I think I'd have to just say, having an agent where this is what we do all day, every day, we are highly educated in, what's out there, what's available, kind of the side benefits to certain plans. We're looking at the entire picture in helping you make a decision as to what is best for you in your circumstances. So, to just go online, it could work. But the follow-up for me is I'm there for you. If you have a claims issue, each year during open enrollment, we touch base. I let you know if there's a better plan out there that I think you should be looking at. There's just so many reasons why it's a better decision to have an expert in your court.
The thing that drives me there really is I don't want to pay you.
Right.
Really. That's what takes me to something like that, because I think I can do it myself, and I don't want to have to pay for a service that I think I can handle myself. But that's not really true, is it?
Not in health insurance and Medicare, not at all. Your premium is what it is. We're paid on the backside by the insurance company, so whether you use me or not, your premium will be the same.
Right. So if I go online, I'm going to pay the exact same amount that I would have paid had I used you, but I don't have you.
That is absolutely correct.
Okay. I think that's an important thing to understand, because then we can start talking about alphabet soup, right, which is all the Medicare Advantage programs that are out there. And I don't know how anybody would be able to look at those and really, without some help, unless they're maybe already an insurance professional, be able to navigate that.
Yeah, and I 100% agree with you on that. I think the biggest challenge with Medicare is that there's rules and then there's exceptions to the rules. And that's where things can get complicated. And that's where I have had clients come in where it has been, where they've made some mistakes in navigating it. Maybe they're penalized now for the rest of their life because of a mistake that they made in, not understanding all of the rules and the exceptions to the rules. So Medicare is complicated because there's rules and there's exceptions to the rules.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point, because there actually are things that you can do when you're making choices that might have an impact that's ongoing.
Absolutely.
And if you don't know what you're doing, we're getting ready for our first break here. We'll dig back into this when we come back. But if you don't know what you're doing, or you make a mistake, you could actually cost yourself more money over time, or be paying penalties for things that you get zero benefit from.
That is absolutely correct. Yep.
Right. And so talking with somebody like you who's expert in that can help them to avoid that.
Yes. That's my number one job.
Okay. Well, as I mentioned just a second ago, we are getting ready to head out to our first break. Thanks for joining us today. This is the Senior Moment Show. We're sponsored by the Empowering Seniors Group. Our guest is Tracy Ferris. She's the owner of the Blue Water Health Insurance Agency here in Logan. When we come back, we'll get your contact information. We will be right back.
This is Mark Thurston with White Pine Funeral Services. The best time to plan is when you have time to plan. Having a pre-arranged funeral gives peace of mind for everyone involved. White Pine will customize your final wishes to fit your needs, from a traditional burial to cremation to a custom headstone. White Pine also accepts pre-arranged plans from other mortuaries, and we will absorb any transfer or revocation fees. No penalty to you. Visit whitepinefunerals.com or come and see us for more information.
White Pine Funeral Services, here when you need us most.
Did you know 10,000 baby boomers qualify for Medicare every day? Did you know that you'll start to get swamped with mail about Medicare 6 months before your 65th birthday? Did you also know it doesn't cost anything to use an insurance agent to help you navigate through all those offers? Hi, I'm Tracy Ferris with Blue Water Health Insurance. Let me help you understand all the offers you're receiving and find the plan that fits best for your situation. Call me today at 435-890-8155.
This is Brian Erickson for the Sunshine Minute. Each day, our nurses, CNAs, cooks and servers, housekeepers, laundry staff, music, recreation therapy teams, office staff, receptionists, and many more arrive around the clock. These heroes show up ready and willing to serve and protect our residents and clients. We are so grateful to our dedicated team. On behalf of the Board of Sunshine Terrace Foundation and our community, thank you to all of our employees for keeping us safe. We bring more to life together.
You have a lot of options when it comes to buying or selling a home. Do you list it online, sell it yourself, or do you have a realtor help? It's a major financial and emotional decision. A realtor is the liaison between buyers and sellers and really helps you navigate complex contracts, deadlines, and disclosures.
Hi, this is Sid Roeder with Achievement Realty.
I work for you to get the best outcome for your situation. Let me earn your trust with a free consultation and a free market analysis. Call me today at 512-6406. Then list it, sell it, and move on.
Welcome back to the Senior Moment Show. If you're just joining us today, we're talking with Tracy Ferris. She's the owner of the Blue Water Health Insurance Group. Agency. Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. She is an agent, and that's an agency.
That is correct.
And she's the owner, the big dog. And before we went to break, we were talking about some Medicare things and why it makes sense to use an agent and the benefits of that. And we promised that we would give out some contact information, Tracy, in case people have questions for you.
Yeah. So my office phone number is 435-294-2161.
Okay, and if you didn't get that, we will come back and get it at least one more time and maybe a couple more times before the end of the show. But again, important to understand that coming to meet with you, no cost for that.
Correct.
Buying insurance with your help doesn't cost more than it would if I bought it on my own. If I just got online and started searching things and trying to figure it out myself, my cost is the same.
That is also correct.
Yeah. And navigating alphabet soup for me, which is, I don't even know what they all are. Part A, B, C, D, E, F, G,
Yep.
K, L, M, Z. I don't know what they all are.
You were so close, Chris.
What are they all anyway? I know we talk about them every time, and every time I don't know. What are the?
Yeah, so A and B is original Medicare.
Uh-huh.
Part C is a Medicare Advantage plan. Part D is the drug plan. And more uncommonly known as Part E is the Medicare supplement.
Medicare supplement. And aren't there subcategories now too or something like that?
Well, a Medicare supplement is broke into plans. A, B, C, and D.
Not confusing.
Not at all confusing, which
Makes
is
sense.
why I say you do not navigate this on your own because it is very confusing. So you've got parts and you've got plans, and both of them have a letter after them.
Yeah, well, they could at least gone to 1, 2, 3, and 4 or
I
something
know.
like that, and just to make it easier. We had mentioned that there are some things that you might do that could cause you some penalties. Can we talk about that?
Yeah. I think one of the biggest areas where I see people come in and maybe have made the mistakes is if they are still working a job. And a lot of times I've noticed that the mistake has been told to them by their HR person, which is, hard. But just the rule on working is if you are still actively working, you do not have to take original Medicare. You don't have to take Part A and Part B. You can take Part A if you want to. It's free. You're not going to pay for that as long as you've worked for 10 years. And
is that
paid
in
into
addition to a plan that you might already have? Because that's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
I might already have a plan.
Yeah, so if you had a group plan through your employer, you could take Part A at 65, but if you're going to continue to work, you do not have to do anything. And that is probably the number one question that I get asked as people are trying to navigate, do I retire, do I not? Oh, I'm going to keep working. Do I take Medicare? Do I have to? Am I going to be penalized? And the really short answer to that is if you have health insurance through your job and you are actively working, you do not have to take Medicare.
Which means I don't have to pay those premiums.
Correct.
Really is what we're saying there, right?
That's right.
So where does the penalty come into play? Where do I get hurt if I make a mistake?
So I had a client come to me not too long ago, first time meeting her. She had immigrated here several years ago, so probably she's been in the country for 20 years. But her income threshold put her pretty close to Medicaid. Well, every year she was getting a letter from the Department of Health and Welfare telling her, you're not quite eligible for Medicare yet, but, you will be soon. Well, she just took that at face value. And when she came to me, she's 70 years old, and she's going to pay 5 years of penalty because she didn't take it at 65, because the letter that was coming to her was telling her that she didn't qualify yet. And so very confusing. Has she come to me right off the bat at 65 just to say, I'm getting this letter, do I need to take it, do I not? So that's a big penalty.
Yeah, so if I understand that, then anybody that's turning 65, if they don't have a group plan, they must do something.
They have to, yep.
And they're going to have some. Can they decide how much risk they want to assume for themselves based on what plans are available? In other words, I'd like to be insured very little and have as little cost as I want, or are all the plans basically the same as far as what's covered, and it's just going to cost them a certain amount? How does that work?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the only thing that is consistent, no matter what they choose, is the premium for Part B. That this year Part B premium is $164.90. So no matter if they did nothing else, they are for sure going to pay the $164.90.
That's everybody. They're going to pay that bill. That's a monthly bill. Everybody has to pay no matter what, unless they have a group plan.
Right. And the only exception, like I was telling you, there are exceptions with everything in Medicare. The only exception would be if their income was higher and hit certain thresholds. That Part B premium could be higher if they had a pretty high income.
So in those circumstances where there's an income, an income threshold, or there's a group plan, is there a form that you have to fill out to notify so that you don't get penalized, or are you just automatically exempt?
If they have a group plan?
Yeah. So let's say I have a group plan. So I know that I'm not going to need Medicare because I have a group plan. I just, I talked to you and you're smart and you told me I don't need to do anything. Or I listened to you on the radio. But so I don't do anything. I just keep working. I don't fill anything out. I don't notify anybody. Age 65 comes and goes, and I never pick up Medicare and I never pay a premium. Should I have filled out some form and notify the government that that's what's happening, or am I okay?
And again, that's a great question. And the answer to that is no. We don't have to do a form to inform the federal government what you're wanting to do. The form comes when we are going to apply for Medicare, because what they want to know is, why didn't you take this at 65? So there's a form that your employer has to fill out that we send in with your application to get onto Part A and Part B. So, yeah, there is a form. It doesn't happen until later.
But you do have to provide evidence then. So at that point, if I'm age 70 and I now want to pick up my plan, I've got to get somebody probably from my workplace or the provider to sign that form and say, yes, he was on the plan. That's why he didn't pay any premium. Correct. And then I'm good.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. Another reason why you should use an agent, because just to navigate that.
To make sure that it's all done properly.
That paperwork is sent in, it's correct, it's filled out properly.
Right. Quickly, before we go to our next break, what's your contact information again?
Yeah, so our phone number at our office is 435-294-2161. Our address is 74 West, 100 North in Logan. We're in a Farm Bureau building. We've got a space in that office.
Awesome. All right. This is the Senior Moment Show. We're heading out to our next break. Please stay with us, and we will be right back.
It's tough knowing how to care for an aging parent. Mom has always been there for me, but now I need to be there for her. When we found out she needed surgery, I wondered how I could attend to her needs and still be mom to my kids. I was so relieved to learn about transitional rehab at Maple Springs in North Logan. From the nurses to the physical therapists, it was like their whole staff was focused on helping Mom get better. Maple Springs in North Logan was an answer to my prayers.
Learn more at maplespringsnorthlogan.com or call 753-9400.
Did you know 1 in 3 people will visit a nursing home? Did you know that once there, they will stay there for an average of 3 years? Did you also know there are insurance options that can help cover this experience? Hi, I'm Tracy Ferris with Blue Water Health Insurance. It's not cheap to stay in a full-fledged nursing home. Long-term care insurance can help you or a loved one get the care they need and deserve. If you wait until you need it, you may be too late. Give me a call at 435-890-8155.
Things have been changing for Mom and Dad lately. It's getting harder to get them the help they need, while also taking care of my own family. I feel like if I help one, I neglect the other. What do I do?
This is Bruce with Comfort Care Home Care, and we understand. Their home is familiar and full of memories. Comfort Care can assist with a wide variety of tasks that help them stay there longer and give you a break. For a few hours a week to 24 hours a day. With Comfort Care, you can live your best life possible. Call me today, 754-7676.
Reed's Pharmacy in Hiram offers free delivery service 5 days a week, Monday through Friday throughout the valley. Just stay home and they will deliver to you. With 25 different suppliers, they won't have the shortage that others might have. Also, with compounding and many other services, they will be able to serve all your needs. In order to stay safe and help slow the spread, please call Reed's Pharmacy in Hiram at 245-DRUG, and they will take care of you.
Welcome back to the Senior Moment Show. If you're just joining us today, we're visiting with Tracy Ferris. She is the owner of the Blue Water Health Insurance Agency here in Cache Valley, and she specializes in, among other things, Medicare. She also does health insurance and group plans for businesses. That's her main area of focus, and we've been talking about Medicare access and some challenges that are associated with that. I have a question about people who are retiring and maybe not at age 65.
Yeah.
What happens with them?
Yeah. A question I get practically every day, because retirement and the decision to, retire becomes very complicated when you start having a conversation about, well, what does my health insurance look like? I've had it through my employer for, 45 years, and now what do I do? There are just so many avenues out there that we can go down. If you're close to age 65, there's transition plans that are fairly inexpensive that can get you to 65.
What does that look like? Tell me about a transition plan.
Yeah, so a transition plan is just, it's kind of a major medical, right? It doesn't cover your preventative care. It doesn't cover maintenance medications. And it does have a pre-existing clause to it. But if you're all of a sudden finding yourself maybe unemployed at 64 and a half and you've got 6 months to go, a transition plan makes perfect sense. You might pay $150, $200 a month for it. And it's just going to cover you for the next 6 months until we can move you to Medicare.
And this is like major catastrophic stuff. So it's not necessarily if I break my leg, but it's more like...
it would cover you if you broke your leg for sure. The deductibles on it are still really good. It does have a max payout on it of $500,000, but, for 6 months...
that's a good. You're assuming
sense.
6 months. What about 6 years?
Yeah, 6 years we couldn't do a transition plan. It's just not even legal to do that. But for sure, there are options within the marketplace depending on income. We could certainly look at that, and we always do. That's my number one question that I ask people is premiums are based off of income now. So what does your income look like? And then we can go from there and find them something that usually, almost always, is very, very affordable. My biggest, compliment that I get from clients is, oh man, I thought it was going to be so much more expensive, and I'm so grateful I called you to, have this conversation so that I could know that I can retire now and be okay.
I guess just to throw out, this isn't the exact target of our show, but people listening with kids or grandkids, you can help them as well, right? A newly married couple that maybe isn't working yet, or their job doesn't really provide great benefits.
Right.
You can. What is a low premium range that you see for a family that maybe is a kind of a low income, just an idea of what they might have to pay per month?
I've seen it as cheap as free.
Can't beat free.
No, I don't think you can, especially if it's really good coverage.
If it's good insurance. So it wouldn't be unheard of to have like a premium of $50 a month or something like that.
No, not at all.
Which is very affordable because even companies that are offering benefits sometimes are charging those employees hundreds of dollars a month for the insurance.
Correct.
And maybe they're not making very much, but they think they have to work there because there's benefits.
Right.
When in fact they could take a different job and it would actually cost them less, even though they might not make as much.
Yeah, probably less and have a better deductible.
And a better plan. That's
yep.
interesting. And that rolls all the way up into all through the age groups.
All through, yep.
And up into the retirement ages as well. So if you're retiring and at that point your income changes, you're kind of, even though you might have resources in the bank, which is different than having income.
Correct.
So if your actual income is
lower,
at a lower threshold, give us an idea what the threshold is.
Yeah, I mean, the threshold changed a couple of years ago with Obamacare, when the with COVID and everything that happened there. So the threshold is actually quite high. Prior to that change, for a family of two, the income threshold was about $68,000. It's at least double that now.
So now I'm going to do my math. 134.
30, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So $134,000. Is that right?
Yeah.
36.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's close.
Whoever's out there that's a math professor that's going to correct me, I apologize. It's in the 130s. So that's a big number. So I can have $130,000 of income coming in and still qualify for a low premium insurance plan.
Yeah, I mean, it does graduate as your income goes higher. So, if your income threshold was that high, probably not a $50 plan, but still a really good price.
But not a $1,200 plan.
Not a $1,200,
yeah.
No.
Okay. Well, look, we're almost done, and maybe that idea there might even generate some interest for people that are out there that either are in that circumstance or have family members that are in that circumstance. So that would be whether they're married or single, but anybody that's in that circumstance that thinks they have to live without insurance maybe don't need to.
Yeah.
How should they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so our phone number is 435-294-2161.
And when you call that number, you'll be speaking to the owner.
That is correct.
Of the Blue Water Insurance Agency.
Yes, you will.
Okay. And member of the Empowering Seniors Group and sponsor of this show.
Yes.
Thank you for
very
doing
proud
that.
of that.
Thank you for being on the show today.
You are
as
welcome.
Always. And
it's
all the good information that you share with us. This has been the Senior Moment Show. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you being here. Please tune in again next week.